Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Cat Williams said gatekeepers?
Yes.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself. When he first comes on, he says, "You're like my mother. You're like my aunt. You're like my sister." Okay? Then we do the podcast. We speak about the Tyler Perry situation. Oprah Winfrey, he said, "I don't really know Oprah, but I'm going to reach out to Tyler." I appreciate that. Kevin kept his word. He reached out to Tyler Perry. Kevin Hart called me back about maybe a week or so later. He said, "Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he don't want to revisit it. He said, but I tell you what, let's move past that, Mo. Let's just move past that and let's just do great things. So whatever
That's what Kevin said.
I want you to hear me, Kevin Hart. Let's move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do." Now, let me say that before we go any further, because I want to make sure I give Kevin Hart his proper credit. When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, "Here you go." We're forever grateful for that. When we were able to give it back, we said, "Brother, we appreciate you with some interest on top," because I don't ever want nobody to think
Feel like they
me and my
gave up.
husband. So I want to make sure I put that out there. That brother really helped us out when we needed to be helped out. Then when he came back with, "I got you," I didn't ask Kevin Hart to do anything. He said, "I'll executive produce. I'll partner with you." I said, "Good shit, Kevin," because we're in a deal with Endemol. And we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it is, I got you. Now, Kevin Hart is one of the biggest entertainers right now in the world,
Correct.
right? And was then. We got off the phone with Kevin Hart. We called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us. He's going to partner, executive use. They was like, "Oh, this is incredible," because when you put Kevin Hart name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
2 weeks go by. We get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, "We just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky." And Dave Becky said, "Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any kind of relationship with Monique."
So what changed between the 2 weeks and and plus he gave you a check, you gave the money back, then said he would partner with you, executive produce, whatever you need, Mo, hey, we got you. So what transpired, or what do you think transpired between then that 2 week period?
Well, soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, "Hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol, and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me." He said, "Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now." I said, "Wait a minute. Are you okay, though, with this white man calling them up? Getting in between our relationship?" Something.
Okay, see, here we go. Now, I know there's more to the story, and we're going to play it. But so far, she's saying Kevin Hart was helping her out, was being real generous. But then all of a sudden, she gets a call from a guy, right, who says Kevin Hart is taking back what he said. He doesn't want to do anything with you. So she calls Kevin Hart and confronts him, right? And she's like, "Hey, this guy is saying that you went back on your word." And Kevin Hart saying it's a miscommunication. But here's where Monique takes this. Are you going to let this white man get in between our relationship? Now, look, y'all, I know I'm going against the grain, but I don't even think it's necessary to highlight the fact that it's a white man in this situation. All right? I mean, actually, it sounds racist. I mean, are you going to let this white man get in between our relationship? What do you mean? He's just a man. Like, there could have been another white dude who was helping the relationship. So what's going on? So once again, we get this racially fueled language from our people, man, especially our people that have influence. It's racially fueled, man, and it'll make you feel a certain way. It's communicating the message that white people are evil. That's what it's communicating. Every time you listen to them start talking, it's communicating that same message. Not all white people are evil. I hope half of y'all know this, but this is kind of what's being communicated. This situation, like what she's explaining, is about Kevin Hart. But in that, she finds the opportunity to throw out the fact that this white man is involved in some shenanigery. All right. Now, black people do this too, which is what she's about to say. See what I'm saying? It's not just white people. So it just trying to highlight the fact that somebody is white. I feel like at this point it's just unhealthy and it's toxic. That's how I feel about that. Let's let it keep going though, so y'all can hear what happened.
Then he said, Mo, that's a miscommunication, and we're gonna talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication. That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him. I've never talked back to Kevin Hart again. So that's what we're faced with. When you allow somebody to come in between a relationship with a woman that you said, I'm like your mother. You said I'm like these things. I didn't ask you for that. So everything that baby was saying sitting here, everything he was saying was on the up and up, because when you hear people say, get the anger out your heart. Oh man, no one's saying he's lying. No one ever said I was lying. It's so easy to discount and devalue because of what we look like.
Right.
However, when it comes to Tyler Perry, I will not allow you to discount or devalue, because that is your voice on that audio. Remember on Good Times when Penny's mother was whooping up on her, and she had recorded it? That's you on tape. So how does it go from you saying you're going to give me an apology to now I owe you an apology?
But what do you want an apology for?
What could I possibly owe you an apology for when you've admitted? See, when Lee Daniels says to me, because Cookie from...
So, on the Kevin Hart thing. So, apparently, Kevin Hart ghosted her after making promises to help her out. She said she never heard back from him. It's been 2 years. That's messed up. If that's true, that's messed up. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Why, in this moment, do you need to call out Kevin Hart and expose what he did to the world? What benefit is that to us? What benefit is that to you who are watching this? How does that benefit anyone? Okay? There's no real benefit. Now, maybe you're trying to get Kevin Hart's attention so you can get closure on the situation. I wish there was a better way to do that. Now, on the other hand, what Kevin Hart did to her, if it's true, is bad, because another thing that has happened and that we have, as black people, have gotten ourselves into, and it is a result of slavery. And so those people, those slave owners, right, and slave supporters, those specific people, not all white people, right, those people who supported that and allowed that to happen, right, and participated in it as well, got us to the point where we're every man for himself. We got the slave mentality, every man for theyself, so that it's hard for black people to unify. It's hard for us to unite. And so we backbite each other. We stab each other in the back. We step on each other to try to climb to the top instead of pulling each other up. And so that is bad, because our people are tearing each other down. Kevin Hart appears to have torn Monique down, or at least contributed to it. But Monique is also doing it by destroying his reputation publicly on one of the most popular shows on YouTube right now. Why are we attacking each other? Why are we tearing each other down? Cat Williams blasting other black comedians. Why we got to do that? Rappers dissing each other, killing each other. What's going on? See, we're falling into the trap. While we saying that we woke and that we understand and that we see what's going on behind the scenes, and we get the puppet masters, right? We understand the puppet masters, the white man. What the thing that we're saying that the white man wants to do, which is to steal, kill, and destroy, the things that we're saying that he wants to do, not all white people. That's what y'all done fell for, right? We're still doing it to each other. We still killing and destroying each other. And in this, Monique is not calling out the CEO or whatever media company they was working with at this point. She ain't calling out none of the people who is cutting her check that was involved in that situation. She ain't calling out none of the people who were in power at that time who may have also done her wrong. She calling out Steve. She calling out Kevin. I don't know if she calling out Steve, but she mentioning other people in her field of her color and what they did wrong. But just as much as y'all talk about the white man being crooked and stuff, why ain't we calling out any of these people that's behind the scenes with the power that's cutting the checks, anything they might be doing wrong? Maybe it's because they cutting the checks, but we don't got no problem with exposing each other, destroying each other's reputation, potentially hurting each other's careers. That's justice. That's truth. But no truth is being given for these people in power who are probably white, who is using you, abusing you, manipulating you, underpaying you. Right? You ain't calling them by name. They names don't never get mentioned. But they the main ones. They the ones apparently got Kevin Hart in the position to do you wrong. But none of their names is being brought up. I think something is wrong with that. It seemed like a double standard to me. So I got nothing against Monique. I pray for her and I hope that, she continues to do well in life and her family is blessed and everything. But I do feel like a lot of our influential black celebrities have been influenced in the wrong direction, have been deceived and misled. And while they talk elegantly and they say things that resonate with our blackness and our experience, and while they have reached statuses that we admire and hope to get to one day ourselves, they themselves are still misled. They don't have it all together. They don't have it all figured out. They get on here and they speak on things not in the best and most beneficial way. And I don't think that we should hinge on their every word. And I'm not saying Monique thinks that you should hinge on her every word. I just feel that at the end of the day, no matter how big we get, no matter how famous we are, we still can engage in pettiness, gossip, slander, backbiting, bitterness, envy, jealousy, rivalry. I just named out several sins, sinful attitudes, sinful heart conditions humans operate in on every level, rich or poor, in every society, in every community. So as much as we admire them, according to the book that I live by, they're operating on the level of high schoolers, teenagers. I can look up to some stuff that they say and that they've done, but not everything. For me, this is immature. And we're going to say, oh, it's speaking truth. It's truth. We exposing them. We calling them out. There's a way to do that without going public with it. I'm not saying let everything slide. Offenses need to be dealt with. Jesus says if your brother offends you, go to him. If you've offended him, he even says, go to him and fix the problem. Resolve it between you and him. If he doesn't listen, take 2 or 3 other people who can help mediate to resolve the issue for the sake of forgiveness and to restore the relationship. That's the goal. Not to administer consequences or judgment, but to restore the relationship, to make peace. And then if they don't listen even to the 2 or 3 who are agreeing with you that this person was in the wrong and that they need to make up for it, they need to apologize, there needs to be reconciliation, then he says, take it to the church. Now, a lot of y'all don't have a church, so you really can't do the 3rd step. So I guess the 3rd step for her and for Kat is to get on Club Shay Shay and tell the whole world the wrongs that people have done to them, while themselves not admitting to having ever done anything wrong, which I don't believe that. But I don't think that that's the right way to handle it. That's what I'm saying. So don't misunderstand me. Nevertheless, we pray for them. I pray that our people will come out of this deception. I pray that our people would find the one true God and his son, Jesus Christ. Yes, I am a Christian. I pray that you wouldn't allow racism and slavery to throw you into even more deception and lies, while calling yourself wise, becoming a fool. I pray that that does not happen to you. And if it has, I pray that you reevaluate. The sun is not God. The moon is not God. You are not God. You can't do anything God can do. You can't even stop trouble from coming your way on a day-to-day basis. You can't keep yourself from stubbing your toe. When you get sick, you can't immediately heal yourself. You can't raise your loved ones from the dead. You can't escape death yourself. You have none of the means by which someone will call themselves God. Now, here's a quick lesson. We are made in the image of God. So we get to share in some of the functions of God. Okay? God allows us to rule over things. He allows us to create, right? We create things. We create children. He allows us to have power and abilities to do things, but not all things. Some things are exclusively reserved for the one true God. We are simply God's image bearers. Don't get it twisted. So while there are some areas that we operate in that God has given us a responsibility that are similar to his own responsibilities, God rules, God has authority, God has power, God creates. We're not God. Don't get it twisted. Reevaluate everything you've been told, not just in school in the history books by the white man, but what these people are telling you also. If you're blessed by this, don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Gary D. Pod. I love y'all and peace out.